Guys,
First podcast.
this is exciting.
Amazing.
I think before we start, I just want to say thank you to Efi's uncle for letting us use his basement. It's really kind of him.
It's like the 90s.
Great uncle.
Like it used to be in the 90s. It's a garage.
We're like Wayne's
podcast.
World right now. So actually, AI Unscripted, guys, I don't know if you've heard, but there's a big thing going on just now called AI.
Hey.
I agree.
And we're excited to be here and just talk about AI. I think the thing that I really like is we've had a few obviously nights out together and things like that, and just the way that we all talk and the way we all think, I think it's pretty exciting. But I think
I think just thinking about sitting instead of in the living room, but in a small studio and talking the same way we talked in the living room is something that I find it very exciting.
Yeah.
And I want to do that. And I want to talk about those subjects that are exciting for me, which is AI right now is the thing, right?
Yep. And to me, I would say that, sometimes I think to myself that everyone has a podcast, but then I realize that it's about the experience and the conversation and focusing on the conversation instead of just what Efi and you said over beers or over a night or just in a living room, but making it a bit more, trying to see what we can actually get out of it. Exactly. And maybe other people can get out of it too. Which I think is purposeful.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I think, it's funny. Everyone's talking about AI, right? They say, how do you know when something's popular, like Bitcoin or crypto or something? It's when the taxi driver starts talking about it.
Exactly.
But I hear everyone's talking about it. In fact, there's this study, right, that I think it's 30% of all companies are using AI. But then when you kind of dig into it, they're using it instead of Google, right? ChatGPT.
Yes.
So I think the conversations I've really liked that we have is we're actually using AI day to day.
Exactly.
And we actually know what we're talking about, right?
And we've been
it's
doing
more
it for
than
a
that.
while now.
That's right, yeah.
It used to be called BI, business intelligence.
Right.
You put in a bunch of data into something, and then it runs some sort of a logic that someone coded or designed, and it puts out an output.
Exactly.
Do you guys... Okay, so now it's AI, right? So we went from B to A. It's usually A to B, but that's cool. We're going back but forward at the same time. Do you guys think there was a moment when you said, wow, AI, it's a thing?
Well, for me, it was when ChatGPT really opened it up, because I used to work a lot with AI as a marketer, and we'll soon introduce ourselves, but I used to work a lot with it, right? Google Ads has the insights and recommendation. It's AI. Their algorithm is AI. AI is surrounding us in everyday life. Even, what's their name? The Israeli company that when you swerve with the car, it used to beep. Mobileye.
Mobileye,
Even
right.
Mobileye used AI, and we
Computer
had it.
vision-based AI.
Exactly. But when ChatGPT went with Sam Altman announced ChatGPT, it went into our houses, into our homes. It gave us the opportunity to talk with the AI, and that changed my whole view of it, right? It's like the everyday use that I used to have. I was talking to products and not the AI behind them, but now I'm talking directly to AI, unfiltered.
Was there something that you actually, like a moment you had using ChatGPT, you're like, wow, this is a game changer?
Yes, I actually wrote a post on LinkedIn about it, and I say Google is in trouble.
Right.
Interesting. I also had the Google epiphany moment because I realized that that's the first thing I'm going to replace. Because I used to spend, and I consider myself a very proficient Google user, Google search users. Like I know how to drill down to the results. I know when the result starts to become less relevant. And at one point it was about the 0 to 1 was 0. I have a query, and the 1 is I got the information I needed. For example, troubleshoot something on a server. And that time on Google, I can reach the 1, but it took me significantly longer. I think like 3 times longer. And also, let's take into consideration the text-based interface of ChatGPT when we all started it, I don't know, 2-3 years ago. It was really clean and easy on the eye. So it allows me to focus on the actual data that I need. And I actually read the results because also it was kind of written for me. So I can read it as I go along. And that was one moment that changed, okay, this is all it is maybe. It's a different interface, human-machine interface. Talking is very natural, the same way that using the finger when they introduced the iPhone was very natural to us compared to, I don't know, VR, when you have to use your hand in space, no tactile feeling. And the saving of time is what caught me. Like, okay, it's the same tool, the same information, data is everywhere today. Just getting to the right data for me It was really substantial, saving the
Agreed.
time.
I want to suggest, because we're already talking for 5 minutes and nobody knows who we are.
Yeah, but don't worry, I
Let's-
can edit it. Don't
I
worry.
know, but
Wait.
let's introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay. I think let's try to not talk about what we need to do because I prefer to have as few edits as we can.
You got it.
Let's
Yeah.
just start because I didn't get a chance to say
Yeah,
where
so
I
Joe-
discovered AI.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course, yeah.
So Joe,
I'm keeping all this in, by the way.
I agree. So Joe, you told me no.
Okay.
Go ahead, Joe.
So talking about AI moments, did you finish kind of
Yeah, sure.
your thoughts on
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah.
I think honestly the moment for me, like I've always kind of been early on all of the journeys, right? So crypto I was in there early, AI I got in early, but I think, the beginning of last year, mid last year rather, I was in Koh Phangan in Thailand for 6 months, like staycation sort of thing. And I surrounded myself with a bunch of guys who were digital nomads, right? And they were building solutions on AI. And I thought I already knew what AI was. And then they got me onto make.com, bolt.new, all of these kind of technologies where, I just came out of a startup just now where we had the CTO, we had 4 devs building an AI product.
Yeah.
And we weren't using AI to build it like we should have been, right? And I seen how these guys, solopreneurs, were building amazing systems on their own with no reliance on anyone. And I think I've always been a thoughts guy, right? And usually to implement something, you need all these people around you. And I
Yes.
think what AI gives us the ability to do as solopreneurs is actually, hey, I don't need anyone now. I'm just going to build it on my own.
That's interesting.
You're a manager, but you manage AI agents. You don't manage
My
people.
employees are AI agents
Yeah.
and they're much smarter than me.
Yeah.
Normally the people are as well, but we have professor level now
Yeah,
AI,
here's a quick
right?
question
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
Based on what you saw in Thailand and what you all feel and
I
experience.
can't talk about that.
No.
This is an AI show.
You broke my chain of thought, which is good. But no, who do you think? And I'm not sure if advantage is what I'm looking for, but who do you think have an advantage in the solo entrepreneur? People coming from the business background that kind of knows all the right pieces you need in order to have a tech business, or engineers that they know how to handle everything. I
Wow.
feel that coming to a solo entrepreneur means like if I only knew how to do this, I can be on my own. And usually for us speaking in the room, it was coding and engineering.
Well, I think the interesting shift that's happened now is you always had to rely on the coding guy, right?
Yep.
And I think the business people were always the critical thinkers. And I think now it's about being creative with the technologies that are out there. For sure, at this specific stage, anyone who's used Lovable, and I love
Exactly.
Lovable, anyone who's used Bolt, and I love Bolt, any of people, and if you haven't used these technologies at home, you should try them.
Yeah,
They're amazing. They
definitely.
allow you to build apps without any help from anyone, no code. But still, it feels like they're still limited, right? And I feel like if I was a programmer, I could fix a lot of these things really quickly.
Exactly.
But I see it changing.
Exactly,
Since
but-
from when I started using Bolt a few months ago to now, the change is completely different. It's so much more reliable now. I can build more features. I know you have a lot of experience, Efi, just
Yeah.
now working with Bolt and Lovable,
so,
right?
just to answer your question from my perspective, you can't be a businessman or an engineer today. You have to be. You still have to be both. And I'll explain
Interesting.
why. Because what Joe just said, they're not ready to get you from A to Z. They get you from A to M. You still need your own knowledge, or someone will help you. And if you're an engineer and you're not a businessman, then you'll be lacking the business ideas, the structure, business structure, the marketing. So
Yeah.
as a solopreneur, you need to be a bit of everything, but you're getting your crutches today. So you have someone who can take you where before you needed to pay $60,000 for a prototyping. Now you can do it within a week. So I think it's a bit of a mix. You need to be a bit of a mix, and I agree with Joe. It's not there yet. I've been working a lot, both with Lovable and Bolt, to build my product, and you still need that developer at the end that will give you the finishing touches, because I'm thinking we're very close to it, but we're not there yet.
So you're saying that, and based on Joe, what you shared, you're saying that eventually for, let's define real business, but I mean scalable business, something that you can now run from M to Z.
Yeah.
Well, I think again, so what does AI allow, right? It allows very quick iterations of things. So think about micro SaaS, think about very specific solutions for things. So for example, right, if I want to build out a huge SaaS platform on Lovable, I'm probably not going to manage it on my own.
Yeah.
But if you think about, okay, now I have this ability to create things very quickly and upload them and sell them, right? So just like we had YouTube for content and the cell phone filming for creating content, we have that shift now for creating programs. So I created a program the other day because I play guitar, right? A lot of the time I'll hear some music on the radio and I won't know what it is, so I'd use Shazam. But why do I want to hear what it is? Because I want to find the tab for it, right? So I built an app on Lovable, 10 minutes connected to the right API, and now I have an app that I play it, it listens to the song, and it gives me from Ultimate Guitar the tab for it. And I think this is when you start thinking about it like that, you can create all these like quick solutions for things rather than this big like generalized solution for specific people.
And not just for business, because what you just said takes us away from business. You can sell it, but you can also build it for yourself, right? You don't have to be an entrepreneur. You're sitting at home and you have this missing solution, and you can now build this solution for yourself. And that takes us to a whole new era of, even at home, you start being a manager of different agents that will do different tasks for you at home. And even if you don't sell it, you still can be a lot more productive. You don't have to purchase to buy other solutions. You can build your own solution very fast. And I mean, we're entering into this, you have this phases in AI. So we were in the LLM phase talking to the machines. Now we're at the agentic phase. And we're soon going to be in the physical phase, right? Right now, we're talking to machines, telling them, find me tabs. A couple of years from now, we'll be talking to a humanoid sitting next to us and tell him, teach me how to play the guitar.
Show me how to do it physically.
How to do that, right? So I think it's crazy because AI gives you all this purpose, all this ability for businesses, but also at home.
That's crazy. That's
so
scary
crazy.
though. Someone said to me the other day, he's like, do you think they'll ever just, governments will have the ability that they'll say, kill X? Like, of a
find a
deposed, like, tyrannical state,
analyzing,
and it'll find a way to do it,
There's
right?
already this ability, but it's in our countries, it's forbidden. We have the drones, and the drones already have this AI capability, and they already detect people.
I think he was more like, okay, it's going to think on its own, so X is in the bath just now, and it controls the air conditioning. I don't know.
So if based on what you described, here's another question. So is AI, this general world that we call AI, which allows us to do business, solo entrepreneur, huge scaled up business, and also personal usage, is it the shovel or is it the gold AI?
Well, I'm not.
If it makes sense.
It makes sense, but I'm not looking at it as the gold rush, because the gold rush was something that people thought that happened. This is actually happening. This is the industrial revolution. This is the knowledge revolution.
Yeah, but I'm guessing, let's assume that the gold rush happened, and there was a time that a lot of people flocked. That's how California was populated, etc., etc. But never mind the history facts. It's like at some point you get to saturation, and there's just, again, you go back to the basic of supply and demand. So at that point, you can use AI to build shovels, or the goal is to, I don't know if it makes sense, but is it the goal to build AI stuff, or eventually you need this AI stuff to do something?
I think it depends where you want to be, because now in this gold rush, you can have someone build your own shovels.
Yes.
You can be the gold miner and
a shovel that builds shovels.
Exactly.
Yes, you know what? That's interesting way to look at it.
I think AI can design something better than a shovel. And that's the point, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
There
we go.
It's really at the point where, all of these kind of like shifts and revolutions, they created an easier life for people, right? And it created cities, people moved from the countryside, and now all of a sudden we can move things around and we can do things with less effort, much more efficiency. And it's like just AI. I mean, it's exciting that you can have someone teach you the guitar, but then it's scary because what do we do, right?
Yeah.
Like, I really see universal income in, let's say, and I'm like one of these people that thinks it's going to happen a lot quicker than it probably will.
Yeah.
But that's based on
Same
what I'm
here.
seeing. Like Sora
Same
coming
here.
out like last week is insane.
Yeah.
But like 5 years from now, what jobs are going to be around? Trucks will drive themselves. We know that's happening,
Yep.
right? You can buy a robot now in China for $15,000-$20,000.
Yep.
Tesla are coming out with the $10,000 bot in
Yeah.
like a year, 2 years from now.
Yeah.
Guys, everything is going. There's no one doing elevators for a long time already.
Yeah.
But we don't buy in stores like we used to. That's going. It's moving to live commerce, right?
Yeah.
People won't drive. People aren't going to answer phones. People aren't going to.
People see it as wasting time on this mundane
So
tasks.
what does
repetitive
society
tasks.
look like? And do we
I
have
remember-
to? And do we have to then say, okay, let's say it's 5 years from now, no one works. Is there's going to be universal income? Does that mean that we have to make money now to kind of
Oh.
like be?
Let's circle
ahead
back to
of
that.
the-
Yeah.
You just reminded me of a sentence I heard back when I was about, I guess, 15 or 16. Someone told me that the future, I mean, society progresses like, never mind.
Well, no,
the
no.
title of your kids' jobs
Yeah.
has not been invented
Exactly.
Right.
yet. And it happened with me. Product manager, biz dev,
Right.
SaaS as software as a service, all these business models didn't even exist.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm guessing it's probably going to happen, but I'm agreeing with what you said, which is going to happen quicker. And revolution comes not by us talking about them. They come behind the scenes. All of a sudden, there is one new product, one new thing that takes it to the mainstream and makes everyone go like we had each our own our separate moment. This aha moment for the iPhone, it was
Exactly.
the scrolling. That was got me hooked. It's changed the way I think about interacting with machines completely.
Exactly.
Keyboard, mouse, touch. And that creates new opportunities, new business features, new titles, new
So
jobs.
do we work? Do our kids go to work in the morning?
Yes.
Yes,
What do they do?
I mean, it's
definitely not an hourly work. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing as people were asking when cars started arriving, right? Henry Ford started producing the cars, and carriages went away. You had the people who shoveled the shit,
shovel the
right?
shit. Yeah.
And then there was what will we do? I mean, they did something. Every time technology advances, new jobs arrive and old one disappear. So we don't know what's going to happen
But
yet,
you know,
because we don't know-
this feels like it's something different, though, Efi.
I want to be the
It's like
motherfucker who
we have-
defines the titles.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what is the job? That's the point, right?
Yeah.
What's left?
The only thing that comes to mind, and again, it's based on very recent conversations we had, is prompt
Prompt
engineer.
engineering.
Prompt
Yeah.
engineers.
Prompt engineering.
But you know,
is-
I used AI, ChatGPT, to make my prompt, right? It
Yeah,
was my
oh.
prompt engineer.
Yeah.
So I don't even think about the prompt now. I tell my prompt GPT what I want, and it'll
Yeah.
create
And
the
it
prompt.
create the complete.
And probably there's going to be GPTs that can have better
think-
ideas than me soon.
I
So do
think
we
the
go to
question-
full automation? There's a guy at the top pressing a button.
I
Like
think
what?
the question is how is it going to look? Because I heard an interview with Microsoft CEO a while ago, and he said, well, that basically the ChatGPT, Gemini, all of them are just the new interface of reaching the database. So if with SAS we needed to go into kind of a designed interface, right, and click something, add something in Excel and add something to the cell, and then a calculation and an average, I don't know, whatever. Now the LLM can reach the Python directly, so we don't need Excel. We just talk to the database.
Yeah.
So
It's
what-
vector databases, right?
Yeah.
Not structured, just a
so
data
it's
lake that
basically
sits with the
pushing out
information.
SAS.
Yeah.
It's pushing away SAS.
Yeah.
Now try to imagine a life without SAS, but with a database of SAS.
You're talking about SaaS, the actual technical solution,
The actual
not the business
layer.
model.
The actual layer.
The actual layer.
The
Oh,
layer
interesting.
the layer that you work with, the UI that you work with. Because if I can go with the product I'm building, my end goal is to go like this. Go, hey, I want to add $100 to the campaign in UK. Where is it best? And it will answer me, do this and this and this. Okay, approve. I don't need the interface. I don't need to go into Google Ads. I don't need
But
to.
my thing is, I think in 5 years from now, like what we're talking about then, marketing, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about huge data sets, historical data, predictions, different platforms, different products, creatives, videos, sound, all kinds of different ads platforms. What does a person do there? You just say, hey, if you have a product in the future, not too far from now, you don't have people saying put $100 in the UK because it knows where to put the money, right? Better than you do.
AI marketing wasn't invented yet. It isn't invented yet. It's not invented yet.
Everyone, and this is the thing, I think, like how 30% of businesses are using AI day to day. I think people are jumping on the kind of AI bandwagon, but there's these big companies where they can't create true AI native products because they have big consumer bases, right? And it's too risky.
It's going to come from us.
And I think there's an opportunity for
it's gonna come from
really
us.
a huge opportunity.
But
for
who owns the data? They own their own data. So if they run their own AI agents on their own data, no one can compete with that.
They become the AI providers. Because Google is shifting, I think, from being an advertising platform to an LLM provider, right? They know they have limited time with search, because what happens when you have no the layer of SaaS, you have no search. You don't need to go into a computer and say, hey, I want to see that. You're going to talk to the phone.
And if you built an Excel to create a marketing budget planning, that you don't need the Excel.
And by the way, I love that you talk about data, but it's like they've been very smart. Let's think about it. Google, Facebook, and it's all kind of in how they control data. And they've kind of done it under the guise of GDPR and all these kind of things, like, hey, first party data, we can't use that. They have it, only we have it. Now, if you think about what that means, and it's true what you're saying, right? The person who has data wins. Like, data has always been the new oil, right? But now I think it's the first party data that you can leverage with your prompts. Everyone's going to have access to these tools, right? Everyone has ChatGPT now. Everyone's going to know what NA10 is. They're going to be able to build agents.
And even Facebook app has their own AI generated tool.
But that's also not first party data. But what I'm saying is you can build tools now with your data, and it's going to be about not the tool, it's going to be about the data that you have, right? How you leverage it.
I mean, yes, because you're not gonna build your own neural network right now. You have all those big companies building them, right? You even have 1-0 from China is trying to compete now in this big market. So you have 1-0, ChatGPT, or
I think
OpenAI,
they're third biggest now, right?
The third biggest, from Berkeley study that was done, the third biggest. And the CEO is saying that it's also the cheapest. It took them a lot less money to build.
$1.5 million.
It's $3 million for what ChatGPT, what OpenAI paid $80 million on GPT 3.5.
Right.
That's what he says anyway. So you have all those big neural networks you can work on. You don't need to build your own, but you need to build your own interface, your own data layer, and you control this data layer. And this data layer, you don't need to provide to the GPTs, right? You can go through, the filter is going through it. So I'm assuming right now it's all about accumulating your own data, providing your own data, but also understanding what comes next. Because if Google is right now, I'm taking Google because it's the easiest example. But if Google is right now is building its ad platform as a black hole of sorts, right? I don't want you to do search. Just put it all in performance max campaign. I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to do everything for you. Just give me some creatives, give me the budget, and I'm going to do it for you.
Give me your name.
I think that's their way to prepare themselves for the next marketing phase. They're going to say, it doesn't matter what we do. If it's a search, if it's creative, or if it's the next thing, just give me the budget and I'll do it. And that's the way to get ready.
Give me your credit card details.
Yes.
Pass me back the data, and I'll do it. So that's what I mean. They're taking the power, right?
Yes.
Facebook also doing the same. Don't even the creatives. And it's true. You can't deny it. I think the challenge is for big marketers is, okay, I have this budget. Obviously, Google wants all of it. Obviously, Facebook wants all of it. Who's acting objectively for me? Now that I don't have access to all of the data, I can't target anymore. I can't get who's acting objectively for me?
No one.
No one.
And it happened before. I mean, Google starts with do no evil, right? And they said, come to me and I'll provide you the best results. And I promise you I won't do anything bad.
Yeah.
But then they monopolized the search industry and they started increasing prices. They started closing features. They started acting as if the data is theirs. And it's theirs because they have the power. So I think that's the part is not going to change. The only thing that can change it is cryptocurrency and blockchain, where you disperse the power. But it will be interesting to see what AI and crypto and blockchain is doing together. But right now, I'm not seeing any new innovation in that field.
I'm still like kind of at a loss. Like, okay, what does tomorrow look like? Is there the marketer? Who's buying stuff? How much do you see universal income as a thing?
I do.
Yeah,
I do, and I saw that even before I went into all the AI stuff or AI part of my life, because there's at some point we will be starting to mechanize all things, right? Factories and
we've been there before, we're in the 80s and 90s.
We're already doing that. Even before AI, we're already doing that. So you have workers in factories working in developing countries, but in our like Western countries, it's minimizing. The workforce is minimizing. That's why there's like higher unemployment. So yeah, people are going to high tech, but that's like a small percentage of the population. What about all the blue collar? Trump is like yesterday was inaugurated. That's inaugurated, right? Yeah. And he said we're gonna make America a producer again. He's not gonna do that. It's too expensive, and you have cheaper labor
well, his idea is to do it with tariffs, right? So it's going to be
that's the income he's talking about. The workforce he's talking about bringing back the automobile and oil industry.
Yeah, but how is he going to do that? By creating tariffs on people that don't produce inside of the US.
Yes,
so
that's what he's
worthwhile buying homemade.
Yeah.
You know, going back to this philosophical aspect of things, and I always like to compare digital solution with physical brick and mortar stores. Because I personally believe that the entire .com internet, the internet we have today, the searchable internet, the entire purpose of it is to provide information to buy stuff. Yes, there is information, information about how to work out, but eventually part of the information will be links to buy equipment in order to do stuff. So there's information that leads to buying stuff. And if you compare that to the store, to a physical store, like the entire establishment is there to make one simple action. Get your money. That's the air conditioning, the design, the clerk, the window, the everything. Yeah. And, so e-commerce started and buying on mobile phones started. So that replaced the need. But guess what? Conversion rates are still lower than before. And we're going to get lower because the supply is going to become bigger. And yet conversion rates in physical store, and I actually was exposed in the last company that I worked with my partner that was acquired by Walmart. So we were exposed to Walmart data. And they actually in 2022, COVID helped them get the data about what's the conversion rate compared to our website and one of our 4,200 stores.
So wait, someone walks into the store and are they going to buy something?
Compared to visit online.
Oh, wow.
Same person.
Yeah. Has to be way higher.
Yeah,
way
it's
higher.
like internet is like 0.5% at the top. Like that's the average. You know, Amazon is on 7% because of Prime.
Right.
But in the store, it was like 37% conversion.
That's all?
Yeah.
No, it's 1 every 3 people who goes into a Walmart store buys something.
What? So 2 people walk into a Walmart store and don't buy something?
Yeah,
That seems.
Yeah, right.
By the way, do you not love how IKEA's model is putting itself outside of the big city? So you have to go there, you have to park, and then you have to walk all the way through.
The perceived effort. How much
what
did
I'm
I
talking
already
about.
put into
This
buying
is
these
what I'm
things?
talking about.
Let me buy that chair.
I'm surprised it's only 1/3 of people walk into a Walmart store
Actually
and don't
buying.
come out.
But think about it. If they don't buy it, technically they come
Someone
back
beats
next
them
week.
out on the way. Oh wait, in the States it's people running out with stuff.
In California, there's the shoplifting law.
What is that conversion rate?
I want to give you 2 pointers about this stat. One, it costs way more to hold this brick and mortar. So you can have lower conversion rate but higher profit margins.
So what's the profit margins are tiny though, no? In these stores.
Yes, in the stores it's like I think 12%, 10%.
Right,
which is great. Online is like 5 top.
Yeah.
But okay, what's the sweet spot? If we have one, let's do a universal easy number: 1% conversion online globally, compared to 25% physical brick and mortar. Yeah. Where's the 15%? Where's the 14%?
But you know what?
Conversion?
I think we're not comparing like for like, right?
Yeah.
Because you go online and you study, you look at things because, like you said, this whole thing has been, I'm going to go on YouTube and look for the best 75-inch television, right? And then I'm going to go on different websites, Amazon, I'm going to go on eBay and I'm going to look for it. So when I actually buy something, it's a higher value. But if I'm going to go buy potatoes and tomatoes, I'm going to go to Walmart, right? And I'm going to be the 1/3 that does actually buy something.
This is a great comeback to what we discussed before. Personal jobs, personal tasks that I do at home, pay my bills, figure out what's the best school for my kid next year. I think this will create a mindset that if I can do it for my own personal tasks and I have I achieve that, I'm going to do it in my work anyway. Even if my boss approves it or my company approves it, I'm going to build my own stuff to do my line of work for me.
Yes.
If I know how to use Excel better than my coworker, I'll be able to produce better data points.
But then what will happen? Your boss will see that and say, what do I need you for? I'll take one person to build those things. And then you'll have this prompt.
So you lock it with a pass. No.
Exactly. But you have another thing when you talked about, when you talked about e-commerce, I see in the near future can be 5 to 10 years, not like next year, but the 3D printing technology is improving each day, and AI will improve it even more. So a lot of the things, not everything, but a lot of the things you won't need to buy. You will have a printer to do that.
Yeah,
like
it starts with
everything is going to be last mile distribution, right?
Like in the Back to the Future, the small pizza.
What is going to be the big shift, I think, is going to be personal agents, right?
Yes,
so, already I'm building agents for myself to reply to emails, to fling things out. I don't want to call people up. I don't want to shop around. I don't want to check what's in the fridge. You know what I mean? I want an agent that knows what I like to eat, what my kids' preferences are. I want it to know what I have in the fridge, and I want it to go on Amazon and order it to come this morning.
Because you're only human,
and it'll tell me what to make.
Is capable of only handling so much. You're right.
It's not just that. Is when you think about it, you handle your life, you manage your life as if it was a business. You have a profit and loss.
Yes.
And you have tasks, and you have projects, and you have everything.
Been doing it for 15 years.
And it's always funny to me, right? It's like it's like I buy a tomato and they eat it within a day. I buy 3 tomatoes and it's there 4 months later, right? So I'm so bad at that stuff,
Lost cost.
Like, I fling tins out from 2003. It's like, But if there's something that says, hey, Joe, you know what?
Yeah,
they like this. You have
also
that.
Analyze it. You said buy me 3 tomatoes, and it will go. If you buy 3 tomatoes, you'll have it for 4 months. So buy only 2.
I don't want it to even tell me. I want it just to go and buy it and tell me what I'm having tonight.
I mean,
by the way, that's the idea for like Freshbox and all these things, right? It's where you get the meals delivered. Now you're actually getting the produce, and it's telling you what to make that night. You have your own produce. Actually.
Yeah, with the camera and everything, you can just show him. Yeah. So
you want to do the intro, by the way?
I don't think we need an intro.
Let's save it at the end.
Okay, no problem.
But
it'd be kind of silly to do it now. I think we just move on without it.
We can write the intro.
Well, it's not important.
I like to connect and bring back points that we discussed earlier, and it's like if I'm going back to my
just for editing, let's give a pause and then come back to
okay. It goes in. No, but going back
not laughing, and
sure.
Why not laughing?
Because when you edit in, it's like silence and end of a laugh and him talking.
Right. Okay.
Going back to the issue that got me hooked and like the it fell, everything clicked, was like 0 to 1 when it comes to I needed that specific task, I needed data. And then it's about organizing the data. And I'm thinking that, again, connecting the what titles are going to exist in the future. And if people are become more capable of using machines, code word for computers and iPhones and software. If the new interface allows them to create more things to automate their life, they're going to project it to every aspect of their life, not just home, business, relationship.
Yes.
We know about, couples therapy bots and things. And why not? I'm asking why not? Because most tasks, I think, I don't know the number, but 80 or 90% of the things we do each day is repetitive.
Yeah.
We're not creating new ideas every day or
Yeah.
new content or new drawings or new art.
Yeah. But it's history repeating, right? Because
Yeah.
you start working with SaaS and websites at your company, but then you went to online grocery shopping.
This is
So
why I'm not
it goes
dystopian about
into-
it.
SaaS.
SaaS and websites, and then you
Okay,
went to the
right, yeah.
online. You can also work with different SaaS.
People
at home,
adapt.
right? But,
People adapt.
yeah.
You know what scares me though? It's like we were talking about this chatbot site, right? It's like already got 100 million users on it.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, I think therapy and stuff online, it's definitely going to be the future, and maybe even now.
Already is. You
Already
have this
exists.
embodied,
But-
the company embodied.
Yeah.
And what they're doing, what he's
No, but
doing.
just my point is, like, do I want my best friend to be something that doesn't exist? And how important is that? Like, if we're talking about, and this is getting really fucking philosophical now, right? But what is consciousness? And does it matter that I'm speaking to a bot? Do I need a bot's approval? Like, I need Efi's
have.
approval?
No,
Do I
you
need
don't
that?
need it. Nature. No, this is philosophical.
Like, I
This is
find
what
myself.
believe.
Like, okay,
It's not about you.
let me ask
It's
you.
not about you.
When you're giving prompts to ChatGPT, do you say please and
Yes,
thank you?
I do.
I do as well.
I do.
And the thought that they might take over one day, they'll
This-
check my history and they'll say,
For
hey,
sure.
Joe
That's
was
the
good.
main reason?
Joe was okay.
That's the main
But-
reason why I
but
do it. But
is
it's
that
I'm
the
human,
reason?
so I'm gonna keep acting human.
Because
Yeah.
it feels like you're talking to a human. And that was always the test, right? This was like, will they ever create AI that can fool you into thinking it's a person? And people are like, you'll always catch out. Now it's like just insane.
That philosophical approach to it already happens and talked about right now with AGI.
Well,
right?
AGI,
That's
the
the idea.
benchmark is changing for AGI,
Yeah,
right?
all the time.
When you say AGI, would it have a consciousness? Would it be just knowledge based?
Exactly.
Like
It's
what
a
does
good question.
it mean having? What does it mean? What is AGI? That's what everybody's
So
talking
the
about.
AGI was, it can trick you into, first of all, I think it was like, can it beat someone at chess?
Yeah, that's how
right?
it started
And then
in
it
the
was
90s.
like, can it fool you into thinking if you speak to it? Well, this was the thing, right? This
Yeah.
was AGI. Can it trick you into thinking that it's an actual person you're talking to?
Yeah.
We're way past that.
Yes.
Like,
But I
so
think-
what do we actually know what the benchmark is for it now?
Yeah.
AGI?
But I want to answer that with it doesn't matter what we think, because we grow, this grow into us. Like we are older and it happened now. What's important is how our kids and their kids are gonna be with it, but when they're growing into it, right? So
Yeah.
they don't know anything else.
Yes, growing up to it.
So
Yeah.
I had my
They don't know anything
7-year-old
else.
son speaking to Santa, which was ChatGPT,
Oh, yeah.
the other day, asking him, why didn't you get me this present? What are you going to bring me next
Yeah.
year? Like, does Mrs. Claus have a beard?
And they-
Like all
and
these
that's
kind of
before
like,
humanoids. Think about when you
Yeah.
have a humanoid at home, right?
but this
yeah,
was
the
an
sense says the
actual,
suspension of disbelief disappears when you have a
Yes.
humanoid.
yeah, that's true.
And that's, we are eventually, and I always say that we are simple creatures, as men in particular, but in general, human beings are simple creatures. Most of our communication is visual and sensual. So, lost the train of thought, but
You started thinking sensual thoughts, didn't you, Roy? I seen that glint in your eyes.
I imagine
He's
touching
waiting
like-
for that android that could be sensual with him.
and then I realized, oh wait, it's here already. Never
Oh,
mind.
really? Okay. we'll share the link in the
I
description.
mean,
Yeah, for
everything
sure.
is going to change, not just because we change and how we use AI changes, but also because of the thing that affects us, like the movie industry, the music industry. That's going to change, and that thing affects us the most. We grew up with the Terminator, right? So our idea of AI
Best movie ever.
is going to be, exactly. It's going to be someone coming to kill us, right? That's AI, right? It's going to
And
be.
eventually it's going to someone just do the grocery shopping for us.
Yeah,
That's AI.
But that's how we grew up. So think
Yeah.
now that people are going to use AI to create movies the same way they use YouTube to become famous artists.
That's going to be the new benchmark.
They're going to
Right?
generate movies.
they're going
right?
to generate movies.
Yeah.
It's also starting.
Oh.
James Cameron has joined a startup that's doing exactly that.
It's not a startup. It's Stable Diffusion.
Stable Diffusion.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
I said
$1 billion
James Cameron,
company.
Yeah, Stable
Yeah.
Diffusion.
Yeah, yeah.
So and they talked about they're generating. Before they didn't generate. Now they're generating movies. So as we progress the next couple of years, people will start generating movies at home in their own
Yeah.
computer.
There's your new title. You're not a movie director. You're
Yeah,
a movie
exactly.
generator.
So you'll have viral movies
Guys,
with people that
I just had a thought. So, like, okay, this is our first podcast together,
Yeah.
right? And we're going to do many more from now.
It's our first
Yeah.
And we're
podcast at all.
Yeah.
And we're talking about, this disruption into content, media, all the rest of it. I had a thought about what we could do with our podcast.
What?
To make it kind of like, well, we're talking about AI, right?
Yeah.
So why don't we build something? I already have the kind of frame of it.
During the
Uh-huh.
podcast.
Not during the podcast.
So-
That basically what's going to do, people will comment what they like, don't like about what we're doing.
Yeah.
It'll take that into consideration.
And comment.
But then also,
And share.
and it's also going to look about what we're talking about, right? And what it's going to do is going to find us an agent, an assistant. It's going to find us our guest for the next episode.
And
Ooh,
write the
that's
content.
nice.
It's going, what it's going to do, it's
That's
going to look
nice.
for everything.
Topics.
It's going to find the match of who's going to be
Nice.
on. It's going to contact people through LinkedIn. Whoever replies and has the discussion with
see?
the AI, has the conversation with the AI will join. And we'll only know last minute who it's going to be, and it's going to give us the structure for the interview together.
And
So
the research about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And everything. That's interesting. So that means you need to comment and share, right?
and click subscribe.
Exactly.
On what? I don't know, but click
I
it.
always wanted to say that, by the way. I never get the chance to say that.
But you
Hit
know
the
what?
share button.
Going back
have
to this,
have
my
your
kids,
AI, have your bot click the button.
Exactly.
I have YouTubers shouting at my kids all day at
I
home.
know.
Click the subscribe now. Subscribe now. Okay.
Guys,
back-
guys,
yeah.
I think let's
end it here.
I think that's been a fun episode.
Yeah.
I think we've
But
enjoyed
I
it.
want just before we end that.
Final thoughts with
uh,
Ricky Lake
It's,
here in the corner.
I just started watching Jerry Springer. That's
Oh,
but,
Let's not get sidetracked.
But I'm not. No, I know. But let's each one of us give like a list of AI platforms that he works with right now and enjoys.
I love it, yeah.
Yeah,
So
let's
my
do it.
my top one, definitely make.com and NA10.
yeah.
Wow.
And connecting Apify into this and just making my life so much easier. And actually, I'd even go as far as to recommend maybe some YouTubers. So Liam Otley
Oh,
is really
yeah.
great. If you're
Nice.
watching Liam, great work.
Sure.
Yeah, a lot of content, a lot of great content and courses and everything.
What about you, Efi? What's your...
Well, I'm working a lot right now with Lovable and Bolt. By the way, Lovable and Bolt, both of them. So I would very much suggest that to people who had this idea realizing and want to realize this idea for the platforms. And I work a lot with also 11 Labs. So I create a lot of content in the company. I have the creative team, and they work a lot with 11 Labs, and I think it's an amazing tool, and I want to suggest that as well.
Roy?
Yeah, for me, actually, in the past couple of months, I went back old school GPT writing code because I did a lot of stock trading and algorithm that I built code for myself, and it was mainly in PineScript, which is the language for trading platforms. But also another tool that I've been using for a year, and it's only gotten better, and it's a known tool, Grammarly.
Yeah, it's good.
I like it that it
Use it all the
floats
time.
and everything on every app on my Mac, but I'm sure it's the same for PC.
Yeah.
And it once it learns you,
Yes.
I don't care how I write. I'm marking everything, and it cut my tone, catches my what I'm trying to convey, and generate a response, because honestly, 80% is the same responses most
Yeah.
of the time.
This is the kind of use of AI that we are not noticing that I talked before with mobile and everything, because I use Grammarly all the time. I didn't even think about saying that.
Right,
Oh,
yeah.
I use Grammarly all the time.
Good marketing. They
Yeah.
in the past 6 months, once they saw the revolution, say, "Oh yeah," but they actually integrated it very seamlessly to a well-known
Yes.
product, which is another topic for the great episode.
Yes.
Is how to add, I guess, existing. Like anyone can add a chatbot,
Yeah.
but should you?
Yeah.
Tune in.
Tune in.
Next
You'll
Tuesday.
find out next week.
Guys, I have to say
yeah.
thank you very much. This is my first time hosting a podcast or co-hosting a podcast. My first time ever in front of a TV.
You done okay as well. You done
it
good,
was-
son.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Both of you too. And it felt really comfortable sitting here. I think when we go along with this podcast and grow with the episodes, it's going to be even better.
I'm
and
going to use
better
that for the
again.
marketing bits,
Yeah.
like the honest thoughts. No, but it's thank you for bringing it up, Efi, because at some points I felt like I got lost in the conversation, forgot about the mics, forgot about
Me
everything,
too.
and just like, no, I want to up on you. I want to up you on that.
Yeah. I
And-
noticed you forgot about the mics when you kicked it like about
Yeah.
8 times. I'll deal with that in editing.
ADHD, what can I say? I have to move a lot.
Cool, guys. Well, it's been fun.
Been fun.
And catch you all in the next one. Like, subscribe.
And share.
And share and AI.
Amazing.
Done.
Click the end
Switch
button.
off.